Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming and joining me in this studio tour and launch of my videos. I'm so excited. I've been working on this for several months now, and I'm really excited to get a chance to have it out and available to everyone, more than just local people, everyone. So I can't really see who's here yet, but I'm so happy to have you here. And I'm in my studio right now. And I need to tell you that my studio is actually was built to be a mother-in-law unit. And so it has 2+ rooms in it. And I use it all of the rooms for my studio, but we're in the front room right now. And the door behind me goes out into the hall. But Catherine, can I go ahead and take people on a tour?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up my iPad and hopefully hold it steady enough so that you can see. This room is really not where I do my artwork. This is where I do my art business, the business of art. And so I have a bookshelf with all of my reference material. You can never have enough books, I feel. That's my theory. And then as I go around the room, I have my orchids, which are my little friends. And underneath my orchids, I store my paper. There are no paints in this room. Water and paints aren't allowed in here because of the technology that's in here. It could be ruined if anything should spill on it. So as I go around the room, you can see my oversized printer, which I can print 13 by 19 sheets of prints of my paintings. And also I can do cards and brochures and that sort of thing. It's a very big Epson printer. Then I have my regular small black and white printer, my computer, one of 4 computers I have, but it's on my desk. This is where I work. And then as I go on around the room, you can see actually my microwave and little refrigerator. I could live up here if I needed to, but so far I haven't done that. My scanner and my audio equipment that's right here. You can see that that would be all very sensitive to being wet. So that's why I don't allow water in this particular room. And anyway, so I'm going to turn back around so you can kind of get a picture of the full room from a distance. This is kind of it. And then I go into the hallway. There's a bathroom, which is really nice to have close to a studio. And I have all my ribbons on the walls. I just haven't figured out what else you do with ribbons after you win them, but hang them on the walls. So they're all hanging on the walls. And then there's a little kitchenette area that I don't use as a kitchenette. I use it for storage. And you can see all my artwork in there. And then also my husband has put a big sink in there. So I have a big oversized sink, which is another really important thing to have in an art studio. Then we're in the back room. I'm going to take a big view of it so you can see the whole thing. This is where I do my artwork. And you can see that there's a lot of material in here. It's a working studio. And here I have my DVDs and CDs because I always have music playing as I'm working. So I always have a big selection of CDs to play. And then there's a cupboard right next to that that is filled with acrylic paints, inks, and mediums. I'll open one side of the cupboard so you can kind of get an idea. I've got a lot of paints. And so those are all my paints, my liquid paints and regular paints and all the mediums. And the whole thing, the whole cupboard is filled with those paints. Then as I go around the room, there is a table at the very end, and it looks kind of chaotic. But you know, I can come in here blindfolded and know where everything is because everything has its place and it's all put back in the same place every time I work. At the end of the table, I have my watercolors and my watercolor brushes that have to be kept separate from the acrylics. They don't work well together. And then I have my easel. And on my easel is whatever work I'm currently working on. And there are several things on my easel right now. There's a big painting that I've been working on. And there's also the small paintings that I'm doing for one of my videos called the Painters Toolbox. So these are just 9x12 paintings that I'm working on. All these are working things right now. And then I have my framing area where I have a drill and several hammers, some screwdrivers, some wire, all that sort of thing. And in this area also, I have my crock pots where I heat wax for my batik work, which is one of my videos, batik video. Then I go around the room and, you know, this room was originally an art studio, but now it's a video studio also. So you can see my camera on the tripod. And I have something that was loaned to me by Sierra Watercolor Society, a big boom. See if I can go to the top of it, where it can hold the camera over the table so you can see what I'm working on. And it's on loan. Thank you, Sierra Watercolor Society and Linda Heliki. So anyway, I have more paintings on the walls, and in the middle of the room is my table that I work on. And this table always has something on it that I'm working on. And right now I'm working on some of the things for my Painters Toolbox lessons, and they're all set up to work on so I can just come in at a moment's notice and work at the table. And so that's pretty much the whole studio. And anyway, I'm going to put the iPad down and sit down here in front of you. And I want to talk a little bit about my videos.
Wonderful. Before we get into the videos, what I'm going to do is put everybody back on gallery view. How many people can you see?
Me, I can see only myself right now. I don't know.
Can't see the whole group. All right, you have 25
Wait, let me
people.
see if I can change it. Somehow I can't seem to change it.
All right.
So I don't know who's here.
I've just asked everybody to allow everybody to unmute themselves. So if you want to just jump in and just say hi to Patricia so that she knows that you're here. Initially, we were going to do this on the computer, but she wanted to give you the tour. So that means iPad, and it's a little limited compared to the computer. And I'm going to take a screenshot of everybody in a little bit. But if you want to say hi, please just shout out your names. I can read you some names, but I'm sure she'd rather hear from you.
Hi, Patricia. This is Al.
Oh, hi, Al. Thanks for
coming.
Oh, hi, Al.
Good to be here with you.
This is Margaret, Patricia. I love your work.
Oh, thank you, Margaret.
Eileen Fuller here.
Who is that?
Eileen Fuller. Hello.
Oh, Eileen. Good. Welcome, Eileen.
Nancy Busey from Texas.
Oh, great. We have Texas.
So glad you have power again.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I had so
We're
much
very
trouble
thankful.
trying to get in touch with you.
Hi, Patricia. Bob Olmsted, a fellow docent of yours at
Oh,
the
yes,
Nevada
Bob.
Museum of
Bob
Art.
has a lot of experience doing Zoom meetings because we've been doing virtual tours at the museum.
Oh,
using
wonderful.
Zoom.
Yep.
Hi,
It's
this is
Susan.
Whitney. I'm in Chicago right now, but usually in Reno.
Oh, okay. Now we have Illinois,
some very-
Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Tricia.
Very cold here.
I'm so glad to be joining your tour and your launch. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for coming, Betsy. Another tour person from the museum.
Ah, good.
Well, we have 26 people on with us now. And we're going to talk just a little bit about some of the videos. And if you guys have some questions, if you don't mind, hang on until the end, just so that, because she can't see everybody, you can type it in the chat box if you want me to read it for her. If you want to say it, just give us about 5-10 minutes, and then we're going to get to everybody's questions at the end. But I wanted to ask you, Patricia, what made you paint to begin with? What was the drive that started you painting?
Oh, I think it started when I was about 5 years old.
That young.
And my mother was an artist. So we always had art materials around the house, and we always had paper to paint on and paints and crayons and everything. And I can't remember ever wanting to be anything but an artist. That was always my dream from the very beginning.
Wow.
And
And
I'm
when
still
did you
passionate about it.
discover, because many artists really struggle to make a living at being an artist. When did you discover that there was a way to do that?
Well, that's interesting. You know, I might be like a lot of people. I spent several years not doing art in my adult life. I had a career that took 50 hours a week. I had 3 children of my own, 2 stepchildren, a new marriage. I had no time to do art, I thought, but I still wanted to very much. And you would have thought with all that wanting to do art, I would kind of do it. But I didn't. I started reading about creativity. I didn't do any art. I read every book I could see on creativity to find out what this was that was pulling me to want to do it, and why I wasn't doing it. What was blocking me? And I learned a lot in all of my reading. So what I learned most of all was that art needs to be done every day, not for long periods, but every day. And so I started figuring out, what can I do? What can I take out of my life to allow me to do some art? And what I came up with was there was nothing I could get rid of except a little sleep. So I started getting up 45 minutes early in the morning and painting right at the beginning of the day, just going into my studio painting. And at the end of a year, I had a 1-person show and I was selling work. So then I discovered this can be something that you can make some money off of as well as work at. And that was one of the things that inspired me to write my book, because I knew so many people who were so creative, but didn't really know what to do with their creativity or where to go with it. And so I wrote down those steps that I took to become a successful selling artist. And that's why I wrote the book. It's not a big book. It's only a little bit over 100 pages, because I feel that artists don't want to sit down and read a book. They want to do art. And so I wanted to make it succinct.
And can I congratulate you on a 5-star rating?
Thank you. Anybody want to go on and write a review if they read my book? It would be really nice to have more reviews on there.
That's right. It's called The Artist's Map to Success. And unfortunately, just as an aside, I'll just go back here to gallery view for a second. Amazon, just in case you weren't sure, only counts verified reviews. That means somebody has actually physically bought the book from Amazon. You can buy it from anywhere, but only if you buy it from Amazon will the reviews count. So I'm going to take a moment to share something that is absolutely fantastic. Most people have heard of, but don't really know just how amazing this is. So this is called Goodreads. And this is Tricia's book on Goodreads, and Goodreads is where the readers go. Amazon is for buyers and authors, but readers believe and trust what's here because only the readers are here on Goodreads. I should say, yes, authors are there as well and whatnot, but it is controlled by authors. The website is clunky and about 15 years old, and they are not going to update anything, but this is a great place. And the best thing that you can do for Tricia right now is find her book, The Artist's Map to Success, and click the button Want to Read. And when you're ready, you can actually, when you click to rate the book, you'll be asked to do a review as well. And that's the best thing that we can do for authors, past books and past classes, is let other people know who are considering it that it is a great tool, because they're going to trust what you say more than they will the artist. All right, Tricia, what was COVID like? Well, you had your classes, you're at the museum, and then COVID struck February, March of last year. What happened to your live classes?
Well, they allowed me to have classes on a very limited basis for a while, But suddenly one day they just said, we're stopping your class right now. And they just, right in the middle of the class, just ended it.
Mhm.
And so it really cut back on my ability to teach classes because of the COVID threat. And the other thing that has happened is some of my really longtime students didn't really want to come to the class and be exposed. They had health problems. They didn't want to be around other people. And so I got to thinking, I need to do some other way to teach this. I need to get this into people's homes. And that's when I started doing the videos. I had no experience doing videos before. And if you go look at my first videos that I did, they're a little glitchy because I was still learning. And, but I kept learning and kept doing it. And so now I've turned out three series of videos that are on my Thinkific site.
I'll just go ahead and bring in everybody there. Now this is blown up pretty high, but this is typically what Thinkific looks like when you first arrive. You'll see the banner. The person's link is across the top, which is of course Tricia's studio.
Zoom, I can't talk to you.
Yes, you can talk.
No, not to you, to my neighbor. who walked in.
Oh.
That's why I had to put the mask on.
And this is for those of you who don't know what Thinkific is. It's like a space where you can put your videos, put your documents, put your videos, I already said, put your classes, and they can be here for free. Some people use them as lead magnets. You can also have paid classes, as Tricia has done here. So she started with the, where is your, the basic lessons. And then she started her specialty series. And that's what the celebration is today.
Yes, my original set of lessons are 12 lessons. And they're made up of 4 basic lessons, 4 intermediate lessons, and 4 advanced lessons. So you can jump in at any point in that time. If you feel like you have the basics down, you can start in the intermediate section. If you're someone that really wants to put their own voice into their work, you can start with the advanced lessons. So, but they are 4 lessons each. The first lesson is free in the basic lessons, and I'm working on color theory and value theory in those first 4 basic lessons. But I do recommend, I mean, you can start anywhere, but I recommend that most of the time that most people start with those basic lessons, because I refer back to things that I've taught in the basic lesson as I go through the intermediate and the advanced lessons.
Wonderful. I'm just going through the messages that are coming, and yes, it's being recorded. If anybody would like to ask a question, please go ahead, unmute yourself and ask. I'll go back to the gallery view. And I see there's a couple in here I'll get to once those who have spoken who wish to ask a question. Okay.
Okay.
How about, can you show us your favorite piece?
In where?
Up on your walls, I think.
On my wall. Well, you know, my favorite piece is always the last one that I've done.
Ah.
So, you know, it's up here, but I do on my left, on the right side of the screen, there is a huge Yupo painting. It's done on Yupo. It's got the camera in front of it, but it's done on Yupo, and it is an iris. And I'm very fond of that one. It was in the last SWS show also. So, but hopefully the ones I'm fond of do sell. I don't keep any of my work, sell it all. So I have 2 more series that I've done since that first series that I did on water media and mixed media painting. I've got a series of batik, water media batik, I call it. Mm-hmm. And in that series, there are 2 lessons. One is a monochromatic piece, which means one color, several values, but only one color. And then about 3 applications of wax. That's probably the simplest way to do a batik. Then I go on and do an advanced batik where I use many different colors and several different layers of wax, which is a little more challenging, but I take you step by step through the process on that also in that class. And that's kind of a specialty area.
Mm-hmm. And
I
tell
know-
me, oh, sorry, somebody had a question.
Hi, Tricia. I know your works you show them around and about in the Reno area. Can you please, I hear you talk about it. Can you please tell us where?
Well, I show at the Artist Co-op Gallery. I have a wall there. I show at the Rattlesnake Club. I've got several pieces there right now, and those are all my most current pieces. And then I have some at Statewide Lighting, and I have some at Marcy's Art and Home. I have some things at the Artsy Fartsy Gallery in Carson City. I have things at the gallery in Fernley. It's the Art and Deed Gallery. I have things at Prism Gallery in Gardnerville. And I'm thinking I covered just about every place. I'm going to have a show at Swills in August. And so I'll have more things up there.
Well, I've never heard you mention all of those before. That's amazing. You're all over the place.
Yeah.
And
So I have
let's
another specialty series that I've just started. I'm working on right now, and that's what I had showed you pieces that I was working on, and that's called the Painters Toolbox. And what inspired me to do that series was when I have students that are new to working in art at all, they mention how expensive it is to buy the materials when you first start out. And so you can spend $200–300 just to get the supplies ready to go. And so I thought, well, how can I make it less expensive? Now, I will not allow my students to buy cheap paints. I use Atelier paints, and they're expensive. They're no more expensive than other good paints, but they're pricey. And so you need to put some money into the paints. But you can use common objects around the house to paint with. And that's what I do in the Painter's Toolbox. I have 14 lessons planned. And in each lesson, I bring some other piece of material from around the house. Like, you know, these things that are put under plates to keep them from moving in the kitchen. They make wonderful texture in a plain painting. Or I can use tape. I've used tape in the last one. You can use sponges. You can use just a lot of different things. And so I go through and show you how to use all these different tools that you have around the house. And so it is a way to paint a little bit less expensively. But if you're an experienced artist, you can also pick up some new tricks to incorporate into your paintings. I do some little 9x12 examples, but you could do a much bigger piece using these same techniques. And so it's a way of just kind of having a lot of fun. And they're not all finished. So if you were to buy that series right now, I'm selling it real inexpensively right now for $99 for all 14 lessons. And if you do it, then you can download a lesson a week for the next 14 weeks because I'm creating those as I go, and I won't be done with them for 14 weeks.
You have the first 2 done already though, right?
I have the first 3 done.
3 done.
And the first 2 are online right now. I haven't put the 3rd one online. Actually, I have the first 4 done, but I only have 2 online so far.
Wow. There's something I'm going to make an ask because Tricia is doing playlists for her YouTube channel. Who knows or who already knew that Tricia has a YouTube channel? And I have it in the chat. And the ask is when she gets to 100 subscribers, it's brand new, but when she gets to 100 subscribers, she gets to brand it. So if it's all right, I'm going to ask on her behalf if you could go there. She's already got a few videos out already. There's more videos coming. if she's going to be sharing some of the experiences, and every time she's got a new idea or a new series, because she's got lots of specialty series coming, she's going to be talking a little bit about that process and anything else new that's coming. She's always thinking, okay, what's next? What can I do next? And maybe there's some live videos in her very near future, right? But if you are willing to subscribe to her channel, that gets her just a little closer to 100, and it's branded. Oh, hang on one second. We're just gonna have to hit the mute. You can always come back on, but we have to, sorry, Patricia, I had to mute everybody, including you. If you could come back on. Feel free to unmute yourself. We just had somebody jump on a call.
Okay. Yeah, everything that's on the YouTube channel is free. And I have previews of all three of my, or introductions to each of my 3 series that I have right now on YouTube. And so you can look at those and get an idea of what it's about.
Are there any questions?
Eileen asked me to say something about the group show. What was that, Eileen?
Eileen, hang on one moment. You're still muted. I'm going to ask you to come in and unmute. There should be a little button. If it's on your computer, if it's on Zoom, it's in the bottom left.
I'm sorry.
Got it.
I was in the wrong screen. I was copying and pasting the YouTube channel. I wanted Tricia to not forget to mention her group shows like Sierra Watercolor Society and Latimer Art Club. There's going to be lots of shows this year that she's going to participate in there.
Oh, yes. Yes, the artist co-op is up and running. I mean, we're going full steam. And we're allowed to have, I think, 100 people in the building now. But we don't limit it. It's open every day. And we have shows coming up every month. So, and hopefully get back to our receptions at some point. I know we said we were only going to go till 6:30. And so I'm getting my glass out. Do you all have fancy glasses?
For a toast?
For a toast?
We're going to take a picture. I can see all 27 of you on screen. If you can come on screen, grab your drink in your fancy glass. I forgot about the fancy glass, but I do have a fancy drink. Excellent. And we'll take a screenshot.
I have a fancy glass that was given to me as a thank you gift from 2 of my art students, because I did a special event for them, a fundraiser. And they gave me this beautiful, 2 beautiful glasses. My husband gets one too. So anyway, but I'm having some champagne to enjoy. And so I guess I'll do the toast since I'm the main
just waiting.
person.
I think we have one more person. There we go. Holly's back. Everybody say cheese.
Cheese. And cheers to you, Tricia, and congratulations. This is Betsy, and I have just known you and followed your work for quite a few years now, and I'm always impressed and amazed at the diversity and the talent and the number of works you can produce in different styles, and I just think you're amazing. So cheers to you, Tricia.
Well, and thank you, Betsy. Betsy's one of my collectors.
I do own a TriciaLeonard. Yes, it was on sale at the Nevada Museum of Arts and Flowers luncheon a year and a half ago. And I just walk by it every single day and I love it.
Well, here's to all of you. And I want to thank all of you for joining me for this event. And I'm going to take a sip of my wine.
And I've got a glass here too. And it's delicious. Great idea.
Okay.
Tricia, is there anything that you would like to share with everyone in parting thoughts? I know you have more ideas to bring art into more people's lives and to have more artists find ways to at least fund what gives them joy if not fund their ability to become paid artists.
Yes. And I may be adding to my book because in this, making these videos, I've learned a whole new way to monetize art. So through the videos. And so I will be probably adding an addendum to the book. So probably not writing a whole new book, but adding an addendum. But I wanted to let everyone know that if you want to look at my videos, you can go to triciastudio.thinkific. It's thinkific, not terrific, but thinkific.com. And that's where my videos are. And
it's in the chat.
Yeah. So, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can get it named something that is not just a bunch of letters.
All right, we'll go back to gallery so everyone can see each other.
Okay.
Any
And thank
last
you all
questions?
for coming.
Happy to be here.
Hey, Al. Good to see you.
Fun to see you.
Yeah. Good
Much
to see you,
success.
And
Nancy.
Judy.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
great. I enjoyed taking your class and miss that we can't all be together,
Relax.
Yeah.
and the book as well.
See you at
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all for coming.
Good
Thank
night.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Signing off.
Good night, everyone.
Bye. I don't know how to leave.